Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com and I'm here with another live online paper crafting class for you. It is Wednesday, February 1st at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live. If you're watching at that time, you can log into your Google/YouTube account and comment along with all of us. If you're watching on Facebook, you can comment there. Otherwise, if you're watching the afterlive, I would welcome your comments as well because your comments get you entered into prize drawings. So yay. Let's also give a warm welcome to my moderators. I have a moderator on YouTube and one on Facebook. Lisa Marshall is on Facebook watching for questions, there to help you out. So please say hello to Lisa. And then on YouTube, we have Trisha Josephs. She has, her name stands out a little bit. It has a little wrench symbol next to her name. And she is there to help us out with the same thing. But over on YouTube, you can tag Trisha by first typing the A with the circle around it, the @ sign, and then start immediately without a space, start typing her name, Tricia, Trisha Josephs, and you can actually tag her so that her name stands out more. And we're going to do lots of cards today, so I'm going to get started right away. Hello to you all. It's so fun to see familiar names popping in. If this is your first live, please let me know. I love to know who's coming in for the first time. If you have watched many times, I would love to know that too. And what are we going to do today? Oh my gosh, we are going to take a few sheets of cardstock. We're going to take an extra ink pad and stamp set to supplement, add some extra words to this because this kit comes without any stamps or ink. We're going to take one of our kits, the, what kit is it called? The Saying Thanks kit. And we're going to triple it. Actually, we're going to more than triple it. First, I'm going to double it for you. I'm going to show you my favorite cards. So I've doubled the kit. And then I had these leftovers from envelopes because I cut up some of my envelopes and I'm like, oh, I'm going to make 3 more cards. So I tripled it. And then there were even more leftovers. So I'm going to show you how to more than triple the cards that you can get from the Saying Thanks kit. Again, by adding a stamp set, some ink, and you could use any stamp set really. Some cardstock. We're going to use basic black for the base because these cards pop. They've got lots of nice bright color in them. And then we're going to use an extra pack of envelopes because we're cutting into the kit envelopes. And then some embellishments. So hopefully that will spark your creativity and you can do the same thing with your Saying Thanks kit. I think that's all I needed to mention before we get going. Please subscribe, like, thumbs up, all those good things if you can. It really helps me out. And my goal this year is to increase the number of viewers that I have on my channels. So on that note, let's move down to the desktop and I'm going to give you a peek at, oops, where did I go? There I am. I'm going to give you a peek at the kit that we are going to modify. So this is the Saying Thanks kit. These are images of the 3 different cards. You make 3 of each of these 3 different cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to take the whole kit. I'm just going to take a portion. So I'm going to take one of these cards, one of these cards, and one of these. And I'm going to multiply them like I told you. So 3 will turn into eventually 10 cards, which means that if you have 3 of each of those, 9 will turn into 30. Okay? Thanks, Judy. Judy already mentioned that she liked and shared. Thanks so much. The kit, by the way, does come with this instruction manual, or a little pamphlet, I should say, and it allows you to visually gives you tips for putting together your kit cards. You also get all the supplies that you need in order to make these cards. Like, you don't have to buy anything extra. The only thing probably that would be good to have in your stash is a paper snips or scissors. We call them paper snips in the Stampin' Up world. So let's set this box aside real quick here, and I'm going to bring in close-up view of the cards. This is one of the cards that you can create. And we just got back from, and I say we because I went with 2 other team members. We got back from my parents' Lake Place home in northern Minnesota. We were there this past weekend and we did a bunch of make and takes there, some stamping projects. This is the other one, but I need the card base, so I didn't glue it on yet. But this is the way the other one's going to look. So those are the 3. And I gave them supplies for those 3 cards, and then they put them together. But this was one of our last make and takes. We were pretty tired at the end. So, oh, thanks, Lisa. She goes, multiplying kits is Rachel's superpower. I love you, Lisa. So we didn't do too much as far as variations go on the kit cards that we got. I did offer extra cardstock and all that stuff, but we were all like, you know what? Let's just make them as is. And we did, except every one of those people. So my mom stamped with us, and then Cheryl and Nancy, every one of them did something a little different on at least one of their cards. So that was fun to see. It's just tempting, right? You just want to make it your own. So these are the kit pieces that we're going to be using. Do you see this? We are going to even add more to that pile because one of your pieces allows you some therapy. If you just sit and pop these out, it is so relaxing. So these little guys you pop out, but in the end you end up with lots of hearts, which is why my 10th card came into play. I was like, oh my gosh, I have all these hearts. What can we do with them? So that is the reason why I more than tripled. But I'm not sure that last 10th card is my favorite, so I just want to warn you that it's kind of out there. It's different. So we can make them in a completely different way. You're also going to get adhesives in the kit, and they're kind of like strip dimensional pieces, and they're not as tall as the ones that we that you can purchase from the online store that are like shaker card type of strips. They're shallower, like a dimensional. Okay. All right. Then you get these embellishments, but I do have to tell you, and I already commented to Stampin' Up about this, but they don't stay on very well. So I would suggest that you either add some extra glue when you're putting them on, or you just bring in a different embellishment, which is what I'm going to do today. Then you've got this multilingual. So we've got different languages to choose from. We have 4 different languages, and you're going to want to grab the language that you speak or that your recipients of your cards speak, right? So you can take all of these off. And on this one, I have 2 more. Let's see, I've got the thanks and I've got the thank you. But if you speak several languages and the people that you give your cards to will understand those languages, you have even more sentiments to add, right? Can't go wrong there. Okay, then we have our card bases, and these are our fun card bases. We have a rounded rainbow. We have these falling dots, and then we have, oops, that's the wrong card base. Here it is. And then we have, I called it the watercolor background because it's just kind of like a wash. You also get envelopes, and all of those envelopes have that similar look to this last card, so I didn't want to waste them, right? They're awesome. Let's bring in the PDF that I know a lot of you like to, oops, that's the wrong one, like to either take a screenshot of, there it is, okay. All these things behind the scenes. Rachel's talking to herself. But yes, you can peek here at the PDF. You can either screenshot it right now if you don't think you're going to come back to my blog post, but in about a little over an hour at 12:15 p.m. Central Time, my blog post is going to go live. There's a link to it in the description of the YouTube video. I will be adding that link into the description of the live, but I'm only one person, so I have to do it afterwards. But you should be able to get to my blog post and download this PDF. This will be accessible to you to download and print off or keep on your computer or whatever. It gives you the measurements, it gives you the supplies that I used, and on the end there, after the grid paper is written, and actually after the long bladed scissors is written, there are 4 other supply items. Those are just suggestions, but I didn't use them on my original card, okay? But yes, lots of measuring, and those measurements are just for one set of 10 cards. So if you're going to do the whole kit, you would want to do that 3 times for all of that, okay? I think that's it. You can see a peek at all of the cards that we're going to make, and let's go back to the desktop now. I'm going to move this aside. Actually, I'm going to keep that there because I need to use it as a cutting guide. Okay, we are ready. We're going to start with our basic black cardstock. I hope I'm not missing anything. I'm talking really fast today because I want to make sure we get this all in. Oh, and you get twine. Yeah, you get twine too. So let's take our cardstock. We're using basic black. You could use a different color if you want. If you want to use like the, oh gosh, the purple would really be pretty. So if you wanted to use like Gorgeous Grape, or if you wanted to use even like a Blackberry Bliss might really work well with that, or a deep red or a deep green. I think the deeper the color, the better, because the layers have that white in them. And even with that rainbowish card, colors just vibrate when they're against basic black. So that's why I'm doing it. We're going to take 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So I'm going to zoom out just a tad here. So those of you who are beginning crafters, and beginning crafters, kits are the way to go. You get everything you need. You don't have to worry about too much, right? You don't have to do alternates either. You can just make them as is. But I'm going to teach you, if you don't know, how to cut your cardstock in half to get your cards, your foldable cards. So 8.5 by 11 is typically what Stampin' Up! People use because our envelopes fit a half of a sheet of 8.5 by 11 folded in half. So to do that, we're going to do 2 at once, because again, you can get 2 from each paper or each cardstock. You can also get 2 going this way. But let's start with the 2 going this way. We're going to score them both at the same time. Half of 8.5 is 4 1/4, so I'm bringing the left edge of my cardstock to the 4 1/4 inch mark on my trimmer, and all of this is straight up to the top. I'm going to use my scoring blade and press down. My scoring blade is the lighter of the gray, and I've marked it with a Sharpie marker that says score. Now I can lift that up. You can see a score line in there. Okay, and now we're going to turn it the opposite way, and we're going to go to the half of 11 mark, which is 5 1/2. We're going to use the darker blade. So the darker blade's going to come up and through. You don't even have to worry about switching your blades out, because this will tuck right up in the top here, and it'll be out of your way for you. So now we've got 2 card bases that are, when folded, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that fits our medium size envelopes, which are these here. This is our basic white medium envelopes. We have them in vanilla, we have them in clear. So yeah, and even your kit comes in that same size, right? So those are ready to crease with our bone folder, but let's do our other set in the opposite direction. So now we're going to score in this direction at 5 1/2 and rotate it and cut at 4 1/4. And now we've got our 2 folding this way. And when I used to be a teacher, an elementary teacher, we would call this the hot dog way of folding, and this one the hamburger way, just because of how they opened up. One was longer and one was shorter and fatter, you know, that kind of thing. Let's move this aside. We will bring the trimmer back because, again, we're making alternates. If you are not making alternates, you don't need all of these things. You basically just need the kit and the paper snips. I'm using a bone folder to give all of these card bases a good crease. Now in the directions, or not the directions, the PDF, I did say that you would need 6 of the hamburger. So we got 6 there, and you'd need 4 of the hot dog ones. Okay, so we've got our 10 card bases. We're going to start with the ones that are hamburger-ish. Good morning, everybody. I love that you're chiming in and telling me where you're from. Remember, your comments get you entered into the prize drawings, and plus I get to know you, and I love doing that. I love hearing about you, and I feel like I know so many of you, even though I haven't met you in person. So it's just really cool. I love it. All right, now we're going to move on to the rainbow card base. That's this one here. And we're going to cut that one so that we're removing the top of the rainbow and the bottom of the rainbow, and the white is going to get cut in half. That's what the directions tell us. So we're going to, might as well just split these into 2. So again, this would be bringing it to the 4 1/4 inch mark. And hi, Sue. I'm glad you came. And so we've got our card base cut in half, and now we're going to cut this one in half, and that's going to give us 2 pieces that are 4 1/4 inches in this direction and 2 3/4 in this direction. Okay, so those pieces are going to get added into the insides of cards. That's why I'm keeping them. It's nice to have that inside card layer, especially on a basic black card, right? Now this one we're going to cut a little bit differently. we're going to cut the bottom of the rainbow at 2 3/4, and the top part is going to be 1 1/2 inches. So this is 1 1/2, this is 2 3/4. And I keep looking over to my right because I am making sure I'm giving you the right directions. Let's move on to the falling dots card base. Don't fold, it says. Okay, so don't crease this one because we want this section on our card to be nice and long and not have any deep creases in it. It already has a crease in it, but we don't want to fold it to make it more intense. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut 3 inches into the white. And then that should leave us with 5 1/2 inches in this direction. So this is 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. We're going to cut it going this way, okay? Darlene just heard the hot dog and hamburger. Yeah, it's like a kid thing. I don't know. When I was a teacher, that was just the fun way of describing the folds and all that stuff. All right, so for the rest of this one, we're going to cut it in half at 2 3/4 inches. So we have a piece like that and a piece like that. And actually on one of the cards, I flip the other one over. So there's that. And then this one will stay as is, 3 inches tall by 5 1/2. This one here is a little bit more intricate. We're going to cut off the white. We're going to remove 2 1/2 inches of it. So let's do that first. And then we're going to remove, and I'm going to turn it this way so it's easier to cut. Right now you have 1 3/4 inches left of that section, but I'm going to hang on to it onto the watercolor base because it's going to be easier to put it in the trimmer. So I'm going to cut at 1 inch, and then I'm going to cut along that score line, which will give us another 3/4 of an inch. Okay, making sure I'm doing it right. So now we have these 2 skinny strips, we have this wider strip, and then this piece, it actually doesn't matter which direction you go because it's the same, but we're going to cut this one. The watercolor one is cut into 2 1/2 inches wide and 1 3/4. And again, that will combine to make 4 1/4. So it doesn't matter which measurement you start with. Let's just start with the 2 1/2. So we're going to cut it 2 1/2, and the other piece measures to 1 3/4 inches. You can see that right there. All right. Another piece to cut is this baby here. We're going to pop out the rest of those hearts if we can do that really fast. Therapy. Right? Save those hearts. Throw them into the envelope just as confetti or whatever. They're just fun, even if you don't use them to attach to another project later. I love the shape of them too. I'm a fan of the wide hearts for some reason. The skinnier hearts, like I love wide hearts. In fact, I sign a lot of my cards with a heart. I don't know why, it just started happening. Okay, so we'll move those aside and we're going to cut this piece, and we're going to cut it so that we have this section in one portion and then the other section that has no space in the other section. So the heart layer is 2 3/8 inches wide on one side and 1 5/8 inches. Again, we're looking at the PDF, so all you have to do is refer to that. So to do this, we're going to put it right to this spot. This is 2 3/8 inches. That should give us the rest of the space on the other side. And do you see what's happening here? The channel of my trimmer is going to go right through the middle of that layer. All right, here we go. And now we have our 2 pieces that we needed. What else are we cutting, Rachel? Oh, we'll deal with the envelopes as we go. So let's start assembling. The first card is going to be done with, again, that hamburger card base. And we're going to bring over this piece here. Okay, so this one is just, I'm just adding it like 3/4 of an inch above the base. And if you use your grid paper is really handy here. Can you see that I'm using this line here as kind of a marker, and then 1, 2, 3/4 of an inch. Every one of those squares is 1/4 of an inch, okay? Oh, thank you, Diane. So sweet. All right, so let's go ahead and use our seal adhesive. You could also use a multi-purpose liquid glue. Some people feel more comfortable with the glue. I'm just going to put a little strip here on each side. You only really need a little in each corner. I don't know why I use so much. So let's line that up again. Use that as a guide. And I've got my rainbow still tilted so that it's going like arching this way like a rainbow would. Now if you want to, if you see any excess, you can trim off excess from the back side, but I think I centered it so I don't have excess on one side. We're going to now take, I'm just going to scroll something here. We're going to now take our thanks. That was this big one here, and we're going to mount it on with the sticky things from the kit. So you got all these little strips here, and you can take and put, you know, like a long one here. You can cut them. That's the beauty of our adhesives, is you can trim them up and place them where they're going to fit, right? Now all of these are the same size. Even this little section, well, no, I'm sorry. You know what? You get long ones and you get some skinny ones like this. So this one is actually a little bit longer, but I cut it. I've been playing with my kits. So this one actually comes with longer strips, and that's gonna be handy when you do your heart card. But again, I cut mine, so oh well. Okay, so we got our little dimensional pieces on the back side. Then you just peel off the backing. There's all these little backings here. And for this card, we're just gonna set it right above, right justified on our card, about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch down or whatever. That's where I put mine. You can put it wherever you want. I'm gonna, there. Adjust it. We're gonna adjust it. All right. Yes, the black sure does make the colors pop. You're right, Shirley. Thank you. Oh, Shirley, yeah, Shirley said that. Okay, and now we're going to take and use our twine. Now for our twine, with every set of 3 cards that the kit instructs you how to make, you're going to use 25 inches. So I only need the twine for 4 of my cards. So I took 25 divided by 4, and that's about 6. 6 1/4 inches. I just wrote 6. So we're going to take and cut 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 and 6. And we'll just go like that. So there. Now we have our 4 pieces for these, and then you'll have another 50 inches or so, whatever, for your remaining cards in your kit. So for this one, we're just going to take and it might be hard to watch me because twine is really skinny, but I'm just making 2 little rabbit ears, and I'm crisscrossing them over each other. Okay, here, let's zoom in. I'm crisscrossing them over each other, and then I'm going to take, as if they're just string, and I'm going to pull that loop in through the back and out through that bottom hole. And that will, I know it looks funny, doesn't it? Let's just pull that one that way. And that will make our cute little bow. And then you just adjust the legs of the bow, the loops of the bow, and now we have our bow. Okay, so this is going to get added with some multi-purpose liquid glue, bringing that in for this. And we're just going to add a little dot. I think I added it right under the T. So I just added a dot of that, and then I stuck this in there and held it for just a short time, just to give it a bond. In fact, the actual thanks is holding it itself. I liked the bow idea more so than the loop-de-loops. I don't know, it's just something fun. So let's tie another one here. So we're crisscrossing them over each other. We're going to take that top one, bring it back and through the bottom. There we go. There's our other one. Tighten it up. So we'll need those bows in the future. Then the last thing I did is I took the embellishments from the kit, and I grabbed, I think I grabbed my Take Your Pick tool, and I grabbed these and just stuck them so they were peeking out on each side. Now if you don't want to use these, because again, they do not stay on, especially on my envelope cards, they were falling off. They never fell off this one, but if you don't want that iridescent-y, square, cool looking embellishment, you could use something else. So I brought in a couple other embellishment ideas. This one here allows you to add some gold, which is really appropriate at the end of a rainbow, right? So you could do gold, you could do this pink color, you could do this blue. This is supposed to be balmy blue, and this is supposed to be, I forgot, is it Blushing Bride? I don't know. Petal pink, but I think it's closer to Blushing Bride. So let's remove this piece because I just know it's going to come off later. I know that's so sad, but I don't want to deal with the extra glue right now. So I'm going to remove them. And we're going to add these guys. So we'll just tuck a little bit of gold there. And let's do a little small one over here, just for fun. So there's our thanks with the gold. Another embellishment that you could use, and I won't be doing it on my cards, but if you just wanted something more neutral, you could use these iridescent beauties. They are called the iridescent pearls. So those would be my recommendations if you wanted to do something different. These are flatter, so it's going to make your postage much easier to deal with. So there is our almost finished card. We're going to do the inside layer in a minute, but right now let's move on and start whipping through the rest of these. We've got our second rainbow. So our second rainbow is just going to be added right through the middle, and that makes it about 3/4 of an inch away from the top and the bottom. So let's just use that little mark I made again. Lay this down here, and you can see that that layer is about the same distance from the top too. So we get 3/4 of an inch here, 3/4 of an inch here. This is where we bring in this guy, and that goes up on dimensionals. Sorry, I'm going to call it dimensionals. These are, what are they called? Foam strips. We'll just need a couple of them. I need one at the top and one at the bottom. And if we keep it away from, let's move that. Let's make it to the very bottom and make this one more in this direction. Okay, so you see what I'm doing there? That's going to allow me to tuck some things under here. So we'll peel these off and stick this on right like that. Sorry for those of you that like yellow. We're covering up the yellow. And then we have these strips. Remember these? So all of these strips can be added, and I just added them the just wanted to say, so these two, I just added them with a little bit of seal adhesive, or you could use the multi-purpose liquid glue. If you put them right next to each other and you run your adhesive at the same time, you're covering both sections and you're not worried about getting your adhesive on your grid paper like I just did because I went too far. But there we go, just wanted to say. Then we tuck them in. We tuck that one in about there, and that's the reason, right? You're like, oh, that's why she didn't put them all the way over to that edge, right? The little adhesive strips back there, they were, oh, they're tilted. Let's straighten them out. Yeah, that's why I had them sit angled on the back side of that thank you, the big thank you. Then for this card, all I did was stick a little twine down there like that, and that finished that one off. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Pretend I added the twine. Okay, the next one is another one that is like this, I think. Let me make sure. Come on, Rachel. Okay, yes, it opens like this now instead of like this. All right, so it's the same card base, but we're doing it hamburger style, right, Peggy? Okay, so now we're going to use the falling dots layers, and we'll just bring one in like that. And we don't have a sentiment piece. So then you grab your stamps. And the stamp set that I brought in for the demonstration is called Happy Labels. But again, you could use any stamp set that has sentiments that fit. And a lot of these, yes, I just got a tip to laminate my grid paper. Yeah, no, it's not for me. I love that tip though. Share it with others. Yes, I prefer to have the ink soak in because otherwise I get messy. I put my hand down and I pick up the ink because it's not soaking into my grid paper. But that's a great tip for anybody who wants to laminate. Happy labels, again, choose a one that has, so that the sentiments will fit. We're going to use the stamp that says, "You are my happy place." Such a sweet saying. I love that saying. By the way, my stamp set for the $1 Million Achievement is coming out soon. I'm so excited, I can't tell you. I did not have these really clever types of sentiments, though, in mind, just so you know. Yeah, I don't know, I should have hired my sister to think of the words to put into a stamp set. She's always so clever with stuff like that. So mine do not have clever sentiments, but it's a good general set. There we go. You are my happy place. Sweet, right? Okay, and then the next step would be to add some ribbon. And I'm going to bring in this purplish color. It's our Orchid Oasis metallic trim. And I believe it's about 14 inches. Let's measure that on the ruler here. 14 inches. So there's 12. There's another 2. Let's snip it. Okay. So we will just lay this onto here, tie it, and bring it into a bow. Or you could do it into a knot if you want to. My fingers are not working today. So there is our, I should do a knot here instead of trying to tie the rest of the bow. No, Rachel, you're stubborn. You're going to do it. Okay, hang on. Hang on. We have fingers that aren't working, but we're going to make it work. I wonder if it's because I have that big giant ring on. We did it! We did it because Rachel is stubborn and she made it work. There we go. So that's what I would suggest, is adding just a little bit of fun, pretty ribbon right there instead of just the twine in the kit. Plus you don't get a lot of twine in the kit. Then you can take and add these layers. I keep grabbing that twine with a few little strips of adhesive. So there's that. Peel off the backing. All right. I'm giggling because inside my head right now I'm remembering being up north at the Silver Elite Retreat this past weekend, and one of the gals there, Nancy Forsberg, you might know her from Stampin' Bay. She's a dimensional-aholic. So she was pretty good though. She wasn't overdoing it, but she actually used her own separate dimensionals because she knew she was going to use up a ton. But there is that one without the inside. The next one is done with this piece, and we're gonna position it so that the white space is on the bottom. Let's bring that stamp set back in. Oh, hang on. Here it is. I thought this one just called for a yay. It just looks like yay, right? So we'll grab that black ink again, Tuxedo Memento black ink, and we're going to stamp that in the middle down here, just like that. There's our yay. Do the same thing with your ribbon. Now I'm not going to do that because it's going to take up time, but I am going to put these dimensionals on here and avoid where my ribbon is going to go so that I can add it later. But let's just add that to the front of our 4th card. And I didn't add any embellishments except for just the first card so far, right? Because you have sparkle with your ribbon. That ribbon has some sparkle to it. Now the one that I used in the samples is the Tahitian Tide. It's the blue color. Okay, so the blue color ribbon, which matches really well with these blue embellishments. But I also thought, you know what, if you want to use both, you can use the Orchid Oasis and the blue sequins, and you can get just that rainbowish, bright, vivid look, right? So this one would have a ribbon, and again, we will be adding to the inside of that. But let's go on to our 5th card. So our 5th card is going to be using these pieces here and the skinnier strips of white, because remember we had these whites also. that were cut from our card bases. So these are going to go into our cards that we've already put over here. So I'm just going to set them over there because they are ready to roll. And then we're going to use the I appreciate you and you're the best for these. So how do we put these together, Rachel? Okay. For this one, we are going to do some multi-layering kind of dimensionals. So because we're going to put this piece in through here, and it's going to go, let's just put one of these on here. It's going to go right through the middle and sit right in the middle of this layer. Because we're adding that right there, we do not want to have another dimensional right under it, otherwise it's going to cause too much bulk when we mail it. So you have these spaces in between. We can put another strip right in here, even though our natural tendency is to go right there. All right? So a lot of you have laminated. That's great. I just can't do it. All right, so there's that. I do love it when you guys share your tips, though. I have learned a lot from reading your comments during these lives. I'll tell you, I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so see what happens here is we've got a dimensional there, and we've got one here. And then when they go into the card, they'll just slightly move like that so that you can have only one dimensional thickness, if that makes sense. This one's going to get added to this piece, and I'm going to add this after I add it to my card base. So let's bring in our last two hamburger card bases. Okay, this one is going to get added alongside this one to the front here. So let's flip them over, and they're going to go straight on with seal adhesive. See, now I'm just doing one in each corner. I'm saving the adhesive, you guys. So about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge and about 1/8 of an inch away from the last layer. Okay, now this is what I was talking about earlier. If you want to, and I think we do have we hardly have any hangover. If you do have some that's hanging over, you can take and just trim along. But man, I guess I cut that cardstock pretty darn well. So there's this one. And then this is going to get added right to the top so that it's flush to that edge, meeting up with the black 1/8 inch separation you see here. So it gives you that fun look. It gives you the illusion that all of these black lines are kind of connected to each other, but they're not. Hi, Vaughn. All right, so there's that. And then the other thing that I would do with this card is add a little bow like that. All right, I just tuck it in that little corner. Again, insides of the cards, they're coming, just a second. Our 6th card is this one. So let's do the same thing where we flip these two over and add our adhesive. Remember to comment, you guys. Comment, like, share. I really appreciate it. Thumbs up and all that jazz. This one's going to go on this side. So we're going to rotate it in the other direction because if we see here, I'll show you the thinking I had behind that. If you were to go like if you were to put it on your card like this, then it's just kind of like it doesn't fit on that piece right. Do you see what I mean? Your hearts would be upside down. So this one's going to be opposite direction with 1/8 of an inch on the edge of black. You know what? Hang on. I'm flipping this over because it looks better on this side. Okay, so there we go. There's our 1/8 of an inch of black. And then this one's going to go next to it with another 1/8 of an inch in between those two. Same thing where we take our adhesive strips. And for this one, we're going to have this flat. So we don't have to really worry too much, but we're going to position it there. So you don't have to worry too much about where your adhesive strips are going. But we probably need to cut them in half because they are a little bit long. Okay, and then let's add one maybe here and here Oh no, I'm doing Nancy thing. I'm going adhesive happy here, or dimensional happy. I'm going to add 2 more. Going to add one there and there. Okay, we got them spaced out. Let's peel off the backings. So you'll notice I'm not putting these cards together all the way. And that's okay because I have finished ones to show you. I just want to make sure I'm giving you tips on all of these. So this goes like this. And then this piece is going to have a little bit of a dimensional right there. So you just need to snip the corner. And do you know that on all your dimensionals or adhesive strip sheets like this, you have edges? So just cut into those edges. Use those edges up. Otherwise, I feel like you're wasting it. You don't want to throw those little pieces away. We're going to stick that under the left edge. Then we're going to put seal adhesive along here. And we're going to put that onto our card right in this spot here. And I think I have it over just a tad. There we go. So this still lifts up just as high as the heart layer because we added a dimensional right there. And then on this one, again, that bow, here's the 4th bow. That one's going to go right there. Okay? Insides of the cards, coming soon. Let's move on to the envelopes, which are left over. Now, as I was creating those 6 cards, I was cutting into the envelopes because 2 of the cards needed some extra white layers on the inside. Let me show you that. So in our first card, hang on. So here's our 5, 6, 3, 4, 1, 2. In our first card, we used this one. This is going to go on the inside of the thanks. Because the thanks card has a very narrow rainbow, so I picked a nice skinny long one. And that just goes in here wherever you want it to go. That one's about 3/4 of an inch from the edge. Here's a good example. Now we see it. Long bladed scissors comes in very handy for these longer pieces that we have to trim off. Okay, so there's that. Then the second card, that one was using the, and I'm just making sure I'm doing this right. I have stuff off to the side that you guys can't see. So that one is going to receive this one, which also goes edge to edge on the inside, but because this rainbow is taller, I picked the wider piece of those 2 that were left over when we cut them earlier. So that's that one. And then on these 2, we have these pieces. Okay, so we will flip them over. So these go on cards 3 and 4, smack dab in the middle, like that, and like that. Okay, alrighty. And then we have these 2. And I said to myself, I have no inside card pieces left. So that's when I started cutting into the envelopes. I was like, oh, I guess we're going to use the envelopes. So here's how you trim. For all 3 of your envelopes, you're going to do it the same way. You're going to trim so that you have, and this is where, even in the PDF, I say, just refer to the video for the cutting directions. You're going to line the separation of the color and the white up with that 1-inch mark. So just go like that. And you can see it down here too on the Stampin' Up! Trimmer. Here's the 1-inch mark. If it's not perfect, it's fine. It's just around that 1-inch mark. And that's where you're going to slice. And look at this. This makes a great card layer. So I'm going to show you one other card after this that is the same on all 3 that you would make. And then you've got this piece left over. So let's trim off those edges. There's one edge. And oh gosh, now I have to do some math. Hang on a minute, guys. 3, 6. Okay, now we're going to cut off this edge. And that's, notice where it takes us to. It takes us to the 5 3/4. What's half of 3/4? Double the bottom number. 3/8. Okay, so half of 3/4 is something and 3/8. What's half of 5? 2 1/2. So what is 2.5 plus 3/8? It's 2.5 plus 3/8. It's 2.5 plus 3/8 brings you just under the 3-inch mark. So it is 2 7/8. Hang on a minute. That's in this direction. We don't want to do that. Sorry. We want to, in this direction, we want to go to 3.5. Gosh, Rachel, you almost ruined it. Okay, so 3.5 takes you right to that score line. I hope I have a sharp blade. I don't think I do. Oh yeah, see? If you don't have a sharp blade and you cut on a score line, you're going to get fringes. Let's see. Oh good, I haven't used the other side of this blade yet. I'm moving it down here and I'm taking it out and I'm bringing it down here. And now we've got the other side of it. That should work better because I tend to push when I cut. My goodness, Rachel, you should check that. There's always something that I mess up on. Okay, now, in this direction, 1/2 of 5 3/4, because that's 5 3/4 this way, is going to take you just under the 3-inch mark to 2 7/8. So if you can do that with all of your envelopes, then you've got extra inside layers. These 2 layers go on the inside of these 2. Then we've got like more cards, right? So you actually can get 1, 2, 3, 4 more insides, and we have 1, 2, 3 cards that we can do with these flaps. So that's why I made 4 more cards. I did these 3, 1, 2, 3, but then I made a 10th one because I had another base or inside layer. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know. I just kept going. It was like I was addicted. I don't know. So let's do one of these hot dog style fold card bases with one of the flaps. And all of them are pretty much the same, just using different sentiments. So I'm going to go ahead and use, oh gosh, I think I really like this one. So we'll do this one. We'll do the one that I see that you guys don't see. Bringing in the Memento ink again, because we have no little thanks and little label pieces left. And for that one, I'm going to use this stamp, which I think is so sweet. It says, "I'm so happy you were born." Are you guys familiar with blocks besides the A, B, C, D? I typically don't use a lot of these, but this is the H size. And it works well with your really long ones, like "You're going to be amazing parents," "You've got the biggest heart." So when you have a really long sentiment, whip out those right there. In fact, I'm still going to angle it on here because when I angle it, I don't pay attention to the edges of my block when I'm stamping. All right, so "I'm so happy you were born." I think what I want to do though first is I want to lay it onto my card base where it's going to go, and it's going to go like that. So I'm going to position it so that it's not centered. You could center it if you want to. If centering things is your thing, then do that. I have always had like my part down the middle, down the side, and like when I was in high school, I had one side longer than the other. I'm weird that way. I like things asymmetrical. So I am shifting it off to this side, and we're going to ink up the stamp. And now we can see where it's going to get cut. And we're just going to stamp that on there, kind of closer to where the color is. There we go. And I have fuzz on there. Oh no, I hope it doesn't stick to the card. There's a little fuzz on there. There we go. So now we can close this up. And if I was going to put an inside, I would cut another envelope, right? Okay, so let's just layer this up. Where does it go? It goes this way. And you could lick it. You've got some adhesive. Oh, that wasn't good, Rachel. You could lick it because you have some adhesive here too. Oh my goodness. I messed up. Shh, don't tell anyone because I have pictures on my blog. I want to line this up so it's about 3/4 of an inch from the top of the card. So I'm going to look at going 3 squares down. 3 squares down, about 3 squares down. There we go. Yeah, I messed up, you guys. I smushed it. That's okay. Rachel's got to mess up somewhere. So there's that. Then you see how you have this piece here? This is on my last card. So I will show you the last card as well. I'm not going to walk through the whole thing, but I will show it to you. So after you've done this, then you can put some more ribbon on. And on this one, I think I would put it up towards the top. Another ribbon that might be kind of fun to use is this one here. So I added that to the supply list. This one just has a lot of like glitz and glamour to it. So let's go ahead and add this one on this card. This is our white glittered organdy ribbon. It should have the word iridescent in it because all those little glitter pieces are iridescent. They're so pretty. It's probably my favorite ribbon that is current. Now do you see how I didn't put any adhesive on it when I was tying it on there? Now I can adjust it and bring it to where I want it to go. Oh yeah, I like it over there. We'll put it over there. How's that sound? So there's that. And then if you use that kind of ribbon, you don't even necessarily need any of the embellishments from the kit. But again, you could bring in, like, let's just put the blue ones on just because they're fun. So let's stick on this one here. We'll do a small one right about there. Let's do another one. Oh, got to grab it, Rachel, right about there. So sweet, right? Okay, that 10th, so you would do 6, 7, 8, similar to this. And then that 10th card, I'm just going to show you the ending of what we got here. So let me show you my other cards. We got a mess here. Let's zoom out because I want to lay all these down. These are the ones that I had done for the blog. So you can see my designs from those. Those are all sentiments from that stamp set. And then of course this is the one I did for you. Then we've got these guys. Again, Tahitian Tide was the ribbon of choice that I used, but on this one I used the Orchid Oasis. So either way. Then we've got these. We'll lay those there. And then we've got our, here they are. Oh, nope, those were kit cards. Here they are, here they are, here they are. You guys, I'm doing great. I am finding things on this desk. So we've got these cards and my head is in the way. Rachel, your head is in the way. Let's just put that up like that. Stick that one down here so you can see it. And very similar to the other cards. That's just the goldish version. In fact, we'll just put that one. Where can we sit that one? Maybe right here? Okay, the last one that I didn't demonstrate for you is this one. And basically I just took all the leftovers and I put this card together. Do you see where this comes from? I'll show you if I can find it. It's here. Oh, here it is. It's one of these flipped over because you've got these kind of portion circle areas here, right? You can grab one of them, flip it over, and stamp on the back side. So you've got like 3 other label pieces, okay? All these hearts, remember how many you punch out? I even layered some of them so that they were like, there's like 4 of them that are double layered. This piece here is from this grid that's left over. After you punch all these pieces out, you've got this grid. And so you can take and chop that grid up and have your hearts hanging from it. And these, remember, that's what this is. They're just tucked in. One I had positioned on the opposite side so that I could tuck it in the other way. So that's basically what I did for the last one. Is it was just a bunch of extra pieces that I had left over and I just played. I just had fun. You could do a totally different layout. You could just have that circle in the middle, maybe with these colors, and then have your hearts just kind of stuck around it instead of getting really detailed like I did. I went crazy on that one. Sorry. So Stampin' Up! Has so many kits, you guys. And there is another kit that just got put out today in the online store. These are some of the past kits that I have. In fact, this is going to be one of the prizes for one of our After Live winners, as I've got leftover pieces from this kit. And I think I even am going to combine it with some leftover pieces with this kit. So there's not a lot, though. I just have to warn you. So if you're picking that prize, you're not getting a ton. But it's still kind of cool because it's a sampler. But yeah, look at all these kits that Stampin' Up! Has had or has still. Depends, because when they're sold out, they're sold out. That's the way online-only products work. Once they're gone, they're gone. So if you have a need for getting some quick projects done, or you feel like doing something a little bit different, like, crafting on the go, or trying to triple the kits from a card kit or whatever, I recommend the kit line. I'm going to bring you over to the computer right now because I want to show you my latest blog post. And hopefully, click here. Okay, this is my website. It's stampyourartout.com. My website and my blog are found there. Now, the blog you can get to by going under the Home tab and clicking on blog if it allows you. Glitch. Okay, so let's move that off to the side here. This is the latest post that I just put out this morning. It's advertising a new video class bundle that my All-Star group has available. When you place a $50 order through me, you get a link to all of these projects. There's like 12 videos, one for each project. You get that with your order. So you can also purchase it. So like if you're a demonstrator or you order through somebody else, you can purchase the tutorial separately for $15. But all of that information is in there. And then if you scroll down, there's more going on. So I wanted to share this all with you. Let's go past this one for just a second because I was talking about kits. Here is that's not it. Here it is. The next kit that just came out today is called the Wreath of Blooms kit. And it's so cool to watch Sarah Douglas put together this kit. There's a video link in here so you can watch it being put together. It's amazing. I got the kit this morning and expedited it because I want to make some cards from all of these flowers. And so I'm excited to see an alternate project that I can make with this wreath kit. So all the information is there. You can also find it in the online store. Let's go to, I already talked about the video class bundle with Country Floral Lane Suite. So now let's go to the celebration. More. You guys, this is crazy. March 1st, and we now have lots more choices for picking free items when we purchase. During January and February, during celebration, you get to pick a freebie with every $50 that you purchase through any demonstrator. And they're called celebration items. There's more that they added. They added 10 more. It depends on your market. So take a peek at what we have here. We've got, a couple kits. There's some kits that are being offered. There's a roll of some pretty ribbon called the frayed white ribbon. A couple punches, a couple embossing folders, and couple embossing folders, the loveliest layers, masks, the Enjoy the Journey designer paper, ooh la la. And at the level 2, so if you place a $100 order, you can pick a level 2 item. That's a bundle. It's called Eden's Garden Bundle, and they have dies and stamps to go with each other. You can click the informational flyer. You can go to the online store to find out more. Okay, then the last thing that I want to talk about that is on here, and I hope I mentioned, let's see here. Yes. Okay, there's a pre-order going on, and then we'll get to the prizes. Thank you all for hanging in there. Pre-order. This only pertains to demonstrators right now, or if you want to get the starter kit, which is really awesome right now, you can add pre-order items to your starter kit. These are new items. Let me just click on that flyer. Look at this, you guys. Goodies. So a lot of us demonstrators are buying this stuff up right now. This is just a sampling of some products that are going to be online only. They're going to be available through the website only. They're not going to be in a catalog or publication. So more to come March 1st, but this is a sampling of what there is right now and what demonstrators can pre-order, or anybody who gets the starter kit can pre-order. Let's go back down to the desk. That was a lot of information, right? So what are the prizes? The leftovers from those 2 kits that I mentioned. Where did they go? I lost them already. Anyways, they're in here somewhere. You know, the ones that had the time and the world and the love treats. Yeah. So it's either this card kit, which is a full card kit, or a sampling of 2 other kits. And there's not a lot in each one, but it's a sampler. And those winners are the people that did after live commenting from last week's video. So I've already picked the winners, and I'm going to bring you to my computer. Ta-da! Connie York, you were the After Live winner from the Facebook comments. Congratulations. Please reach out to me at my email address, stampyourartout@comcast.net. And then we also had a YouTube After Live winner, and that was Karen in Oregon. So reach out to me, gals, and let me know which prize you want. First come, first serve. If you live, well, obviously Karen doesn't, but if you live outside the US, then you can get one of the tutorials, the video class bundles for your gift. So we can email it to you. I just can't send product through the mail. But, or if you live in the US and you'd rather have that, that's always a prize option. Let's see here. We got to go down to the desktop to show today's prize. Where is today's prize? Oh dear. Do I not have it out? I don't have it out. Oh, that's because it's a kit. It's a kit. Rachel's remembering now. Okay, in my order, I ordered, and I'm going to pull up my computer again here. There. Okay, here we go. I ordered a few of these and a few of these. So you get to choose from the Kindness Cards Kit, or you get to choose from the Let's Party Treat packaging. So now we're going to see who Trisha has picked. Yay. I'm going to bring my computer over here. Make sure you reach out to me at my email address. So let me see. Has Trisha announced? Yes, she has. Okay. We have Lindsay Lindsay Leopard, and Lisa, and I want to say it, Nodler. So Lisa Nodler and Lindsay Leopard, you are the winners from today's live comments. Yes, congratulations. Woohoo! Reach out to me at my email address. And next week we will be live again on February 8th. I hope that you come and join us again. I hope that you had a great time. Thank you for watching. If you do want to place any order, you can go to my blog and click on the shop button. If you're a demonstrator, order from yourself. If you are someone who orders from another demonstrator, support them. Give them some love by ordering from them. Otherwise, if you need someone to order from, I'd be happy to help you. So thank you all, everybody. We'll see you next week. And now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.